Welcome to this second day of the 93 new day. Right, yours truly, Adriana Dragon, androgynous pansexual founder of the Dancing Goddess in the Dragon Kingdom, of which I'm laying the foundations with 718 trillions of kisses. Those kisses were credited from the one kiss sent from the goddess of heavens above, who sent one kiss to the sister below, who dances with her brother the sun. And by that kiss, turned, converted, transformed into 718 trillions of kisses. So be it, although it is so that your truly independent artist, athlete, activist is financially struggling. In debt $10,000 to the RBC, but I'm grateful, thankful that my rent is fully paid. It is April 12th, my rent's paid in full, fully paid my rent. Fully paid my electricity bill, my rent and electricity bill being paid. I got food, holy sacred and divine food. Thank you, farmers, thank you, farmers, thank you, farmers. Because it wouldn't be an hour of the show, or the Dragon, or the radio show, television show, or the Dragon, or where which of which I would not thank the farmers, because everybody got ate of on Wall Street. I said, bless the farmers, because everybody got ate of on Wall Street. I said, thanks, bless the farmers, because everybody got ate of on Wall Street. Thank you, big dragon hugs, Rainbow Dragon sending hugs and kisses and tickles and washings of the feet to the farmers, truckers, butchers, bakers, truckers, bakers, nurses, doctors, grocery store clerks. I wish in the daycares they would sing the song of the truckers, butchers, bakers, farmers every day. Gonna write a song which could be from the daycares to the high schools every day, singing it to the farmers, truckers, butchers, all involved in the production and the distribution of food, construction workers as this independent artist, athlete artist, the people's athlete artist, Quebecer, Canadian, North American, for world peace, as I am a world peace advocate. But now gonna be the second day of my purifying, cleaning, and reordering of this room, office, and temple, of which it is literally underground. The dragon's lair gonna convert it, turn it, transform it into a temple. It is already a temple. It is already an office and a room and a gymnasium, fourth dimension to the trinity of room, office, and temple. But it's gonna be still a colorful yet non-sectarian, non-dogmatic, telemic of the Telemites unite kind of type of song. And of course, as is the 93-day march to the mountain. On this second day, I'm gonna clean. So we're gonna do a little bit of dancing. Gonna do an introduction at the beginning again. Thank you, farmers, because everybody got 80 on Wall Street. Calling on Wall Street. It is 11:39 a.m. here in the morning EST. Buy, sell, trade stocks, futures, options, puts. Buy, sell, trade stocks, futures, options, puts. Buy, sell, trade futures, options, puts. There, if you make a million on the stock market today, please give 10% of that million. 1 million is divided by 10, of course, because 10 times 10 is 100%, of course, and 10% of a million is 100,000. We can divide it by 4. There's 25,000 for food security, 25,000 for women's sports leagues, 25,000 for LGBTQ issues, and 25,000 for environmental causes. So if we can give to 4 different causes, please do. Wall Street, if you make a million, and millionaires, athletes, artists, call it hard to finance. The farmers, some massage therapy sessions. I wish I could afford a massage therapy session. Yesterday woke up moody. Today woke up a bit less moody than yesterday, but I woke up early. Then I went back to bed. Woke up, it was 6. I woke up to bed, it was 7. Went back to bed, it was 8. Had some weird dreams, and later the video is gonna be about John Wick, because I went with my anonymous sister friend, whom if I make a million, I'm gonna give her half. If I make a being, gonna give her half of the dancing goddess and the dragon king. And my anonymous sister friend, I'm asked already twice to marry me. Gonna be the third time. If not, I'm gonna be maybe the 7th time. Then I'm gonna ask 11th time maybe. In a special BDSM switch, androgynous, pansexual, open cuckold, marriage, whatever XYZ, sexual liberation, sexual freedom. I am a rainbow dragon, part of the LGBTQ community. Consent. Key, and of course mutual understanding, and LOVE, love, as if it's not about love. As my rent's paid, April 12, I got a few weeks to rock and roll tango. My rent and electricity bill being paid on the first, both electricity bill on the 1st of April and rent being paid. I can rock and roll, rap, do my videos, do workout, train, exercise, although financially struggling for my allies and armies, pledge your legions. I got trillions of kisses. So I can make all kiss millionaires credited from the goddess as a universal spiritual teaching student. I say spiritual teaching students, since I am learning every day and the mysteries of nature, God, goddess. I do say the word GODDSS because it's a spiritual equation. It has to be balance, equilibrium, harmony, complete. where the God is, you know, it can be the goddess at, right? Goddess. I know a lot of people say God all the time, and sometimes in my conversation they say God, they say God bless, I say Goddess bless. They look kind of strange, they don't know how to react. Y'all don't know how to act. When I say the goddess, well, the goddess kisses heaven's lit, starlit kiss. Tell him I keep my name out of your mouth if it's not for a blessing. Adrian Hannah Dragon is the main message. And yours truly from Hog Island, Montreal, open for business 24/7, and want to be more free, more prosperous. And I don't want to go back to anything pre-COVID. I just want to love, do art, create, work out, train, thank the farmers every day because since I had COVID, almost died. I'm triple vaccinated. Please increasing hygiene in public, open carrying my disinfectant, and of course I end of February, beginning of February 2020 until about mid-February 2020, I was very sickle and disease. It was like death, pestilence, and disease. And in many ways, I did die during COVID. I'm being reborn, Adrian Hannah Dragon, androgynous pansexual founder of the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom, which is my dream. Fundamentally, a public-private partnership that I'm calling all to support, a PPP, public-private partnership, for the implementation of my trinity of theories known as the CIT, Citizen Integration Theory, the DRT, Death of Fusion Theory, and the DFT, Democratic Fusion Theory, via the fourth dimension, LOV, love is also action, not just blah blah blah, and of course the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom, complementary covenant and cooperative institutions, public-private partnership institutions, the North American citizen defense only and solely for North America, coast to coast, ocean to ocean. East we got the Atlantic, west we got the Pacific, and Canada and United States, of where I was born twice in past lives in the USA, 718 miles south of Hog Island, Montreal, 156 years ago, served in the U.S. Army, and with our Mexican brothers and sisters. And I learned some Spanish. I love Spanish, of course, love the language, so I'm a Quebecer, was born in Quebec in a past life, and here I am in Montreal, Quebec, Canadian North American, who was born also in Mexico. So I'm a full North American fledged, full-fledged North American for world peace, but I am a North American, Canadian, Quebecer, and for the collective North American civilization are first and foremost my theories and for their implementation, of which I am calling for the implementation of the CIT, Citizen Integration Theory, DRT, Death Row Fusion Theory, and Democratic Fusion Theory via LOV. And I'm not perfect, far from it. So many things I don't know, I admit. At some things I am mediocre, at some things I am average, at some things I am so-so. While I'm so-so, mediocre, and average at some things, I am also great, super, and excellent at some other things such as geopolitical analysis and philosophy, some arts and some poetry. And of course I am combined with poetry and dancing, which is my favorite sport. Dancing is my favorite sport. I am the world's greatest living millennial dancing rainbow poet who's got some brain and some muscle. And of course civilization has required and is requiring some brains and some muscle for us to maintain it and to upgrade it. It has required some brain and some muscle, and I already start feeling much better. I took a shower, although I woke a bit moody, less moody than yesterday, maybe because I went out with my anonymous sister and I got myself some candy, and I said I'm grateful for rent's paid and this and that, although I of course want to see my implementation of my trinity of theories in a non-dogmatic, non-partisan way. You know, I'm a universal revolutionary centrist, a pro-labor and love universal revolutionary centrist. I am a universal revolutionary centrist because my centrism, which is universal and revolutionary, goes hand in hand with the implementation of my trinity of theories, philosophical theories for the 21st century, and for the creation of public-private partnership institutions for the 21st century with my political, philosophical dictums and philosophical understandings and philosophical models, such as the Dragon Armies model, one of them, of which there is a few. That nobody is born a dragon, you become one. And my brothers and sisters in the armed forces, Canada, US, Mexico, NATO, NORAD, NATO, Jen Stoltenberg, I got love for you, you know that. But shaving your head and putting on a uniform doesn't make one worthy to fight in the cause of freedom. Freedom. Double S word, freedom, FREEDOM, blah 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 blah. Hug with consent like you never hugged before is the main message. If you listen to this, hug with consent like you never hugged before is the main message today. Hug with consent. You see how good it does, a good hug with consent. Dragon Army, don't start hugging people in the streets unless they part of the dancing goddess and the Dragon Kingdom. Pledge your allegiance, blah 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 blah. Pledge your allegiance. You support the implementation of my trinity of theories. Yours truly, economically, financially, commercially broke, struggling, but I fight my own battles. If anybody wants to duel, Yours truly, androgynous pansexual agent Hannah Dragan, dancing duo, freestyle battle rap. You know, in my 1 minute, if I do rap a minute, I'm gonna mention thank you farmers in that blessed rock and roll rap. That's for sure, no doubt about that. And of course, for boxing, we can put. I'm still challenging Donald Trump because I got the boxing gloves. Or I'm gonna box in the coming days, weeks, and months ahead, like I never boxed in my entire life. Well, from what I remember, because I lost a lot of memory of youth, adolescence, and childhood. I lost a lot of memory. Paradoxically, remember more the past lives, previous incarnations. Paradoxically, remember more past lives, previous incarnations. Paradoxically, remember more the past lives and previous incarnations. And here I am. It is 11:46 a.m. in the morning, still for the next 13.4 minutes or 13.3 minutes or so. It is April 12, 2023, according to some through 1904. In March 20, 1904, the new Telemite, for those Telemites, the year of us, is of course from the pyramids. Who knows when they were built? 4,500 years ago. Blah, 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 blah. Digressions, philosophical spirituality aside. On this 11:47 a.m. for on this 12th of April, calling all willing living to support the implementation of my trinity of theories, the aforementioned CIT, Citizen Integration Theory, DRT, the Death Row Fusion Theory, and the Democratic Fusion Theory via LOV for North America first, for defense only, to create the two complementary public-private partnership institutions, the North American Citizen Integrated Defense only and solely coast to coast for defense only and only for defense, and security and service and emergency response, Dragan Army integrated with all public security institutions, firefighters across North America. Thank you, bless you, kiss you, firefighters, public security workers, farmers, butchers, bakers, nurses, construction workers going with the trains now, public transit, and of course, all other general workers of North America. And yours truly, independent, financially struggling yet rich in kisses and poetry and rock and roll artist, athlete and activist, triple A plus other dimensions, universal spiritual teaching student who's a philosopher and a great, super, and excellent geopolitical analyst and theorist. As, of course, my analysis of October 2019, and in many ways, since October, mid-October, I am and have been as a citizen in World War III mode, in alert, and we gotta be alert and on alert, because of course there's ICBM rockets, and from both the east and the west, North Korea, China, and Russia, they can reach North America, right? North America can be reached by ICBMs from, of course, Asia, China, North Korea, and Russia. They can be launched and they can reach all the way in North America. So as I'm calling for the creation of the North American Steel Defense Steel Dome satellite interconnected intersatellites and NORAD upgrading for coast to coast defense and service, Dragon Army based on public private partnership, and such as the philosophy as the body is a temple for pleasure and purpose, and with consent hug like you never hugged before, and to offer services, all services with consent and hygiene, kissing, massaging, washing, cooking, blah 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 blah. Before service in the true sense to my allies and armies, thou art family, pledge your allegiance. I am thy servant, and of course, I'm not perfect, far from it. Don't play it self-righteous. I get moody, upset, got lusts, and I do want to afford more bacon, have a bigger place to have an open house. But now, I'm gonna take a cup of coffee, and we're gonna continue coffee. And we're gonna grateful, thankful for this cup of coffee. Thank you, farmers. And we're going to also put some honey, because got some honey, got it on a special. Thank you, farmers who got this honey. Bless you. Big dragon hugs and kisses to the farm here, local from Quebec, honey from Quebec. And of course, it is. I got it for, it was reduced price from $8.99, 500 grams, more than a pound, 500 grams, half a kilo, for from $8.99 to $5.99. So I got $3 off. So I'm grateful, thankful for. I was able to afford it last week, so I'm gonna be able to put some honey to sweeten this as I this 93-day purification rite journey to clean my room, office, and temple, and of course to reorder, restructure, and keep it still colorful with the background still gonna be the same. Maybe I'm gonna add some more, see if I do some changes before, but of course it's more roundabout, the cluttering of these roundabout instruments, and of course too much clutter, there's a lot of color, but I want to keep it colorful but more stelemic, Spartan, more about a new trend which is going on. Of course, it is the minimalist, so it's going to be a combination of minimalism and Spartan Telemic, office room temple, and gymnasium purification, and be like a barracks. Barracks of the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom's barracks are, of course, temples and offices and rooms for pleasure and purpose for the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom's allies. Pledge your allegiance, legions, dancing goddess, and the dragon kingdom's allies are my de facto family. All the allies and armies. Pledge your allegiance, legions are de facto my family. And big kisses, big hugs with consent, hug like you never hugged before. Encourage all and have been them and will call for the mass financing of citizens across the collective North American civilization to work out, to train, and to exercise. Since working out, training, and exercising has been, is, and will continue to be my medicine and therapy of choice. And yesterday I was walking. We walked to the cinema with my anonymous sister friend, who I asked to marry me again, and I'm gonna ask again maybe. So we walked more than an hour to go there, and we walked more than an hour to come back. So more than 2 hours of walking. There's some good, some good. It was like an exercise, a type of exercise, and of course, which it is. So I encourage you all to work out, train, exercise. Last yours truly, I've lost more than 77 pounds, and I cannot stress enough the importance of regular physical exercise. Working physical exercise has been, is, and will continue to be my medicine and therapy of choice, and I believe it is so for many. As of course, I've lost 77 pounds and created my own workout training program system back, of course, in October 2019, of which I performed more than 350 sessions with different. After 300, I did special gridiron integrated and special boxing sessions, but I got it all marked down, and I'm auctioning, of course, the marking down the writings of the paper of my workout training program, of which I've did. And of course, as I did it, it was 350 more than first. My initial was to reach 300, and when I did reach 300 session, it was September 29, 2022, last year. I closed one cycle, I began another one in my fitness journey, and of course, that's when I officially transformed, converted the A of my surname into an O, and the process, of course, of my dragon becoming dragon, as the motto of the dancing goddess is, that nobody is born a dragon, you become one. And of course, the A of my surname changed and converted, transformed, became an O. This is the motto of the dragon army: is nobody is born a dragon, you become one. And of course, becoming one, of course, as yours truly is, the becoming is by own will and volition and blood, sweat, and tears to become something. So it implies that it's nothing to do with hereditary factors, right? With heredity, with hereditary factors, the foundations of which I'm calling all North Americans to support, because fundamentally, my dream for the Dragon Army is a public and a private partnership, a PPP, public-private partnership, and of course, is the motto. One of the mottos is that nobody is born a dragon, not even myself. On a surname, Dragon DRA, but I've grew up by my solo, by myself, and of course, all my allies and armies are my de facto family, and of course, I made a friend, sister, whom I call family along the way, sister, friend, and others who are my willing, loving allies and armies who pledge your allegiance, legions that are de facto my armies and allies are de facto my family, big family by will and love and love and will and will and love. And it, of course, the Dragon Army's motto, of which it applies to myself as having become Dragon Zero, as I've done the workout training programs, of which the first was, of course, on October 17, 2019, right? So 2019, October. October 17, 2019. We're gonna go back in time. October 17, 2019, yours truly already on a fitness journey. As a geopolitical analyst and theorist, as a philosopher, I've analyzed the situation worldwide, what had transpired up to that point in time, and had concluded that humanity is again on a path towards an international conflagration. And so made, created, and produced and designed my workout training program system to go hand in hand with a World War III scenario. You heard that correct, and I've got proof of work. So back in October 2019, based on several major factors such as the ongoing US-China trade war, began by the Trump administration in March 2018. Other geopolitical factors, of course, as the arrest of Meng Wanzhou, the chief financial officer of Huawei, who had become one of the top telecommunications infrastructure 5G big players in the 5G network developments and internet and telecommunications and to do with telecommunications and internet technology. Huawei, it's a big one. It had become top five at that point in time in the world in terms of sales and profits and wealth and financial wise and economic, commercial, financial wise. How Huawei had become one of the top five at that point in time. So Meng Wanzhou, the chief financial officer and the daughter of Huawei, his founder, Meng Wanzhou was arrested, aka Kathy Meng. She has several alias. We all sometimes we have aliases. She has an alias. And she was arrested by the RCMP in order to honor an extradition treaty with the United States of America, right? Because North Americans, we should unite more. And my philosophies and theories for the creation of the two complementary cooperative covenant institutions for the 21st century for the 21st century, based on philosophies and theories with new fresh ideas and everything we have attained technologically in terms of food production and supply chains for defense, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, are my policies only. And of course, back to what I was discussing, my scenario back in 2019, based, because I am a great, super, and excellent geopolitical analyst and theorist, although I'm mediocre, average, and so at some other things. I am super excellent in geopolitical analysis and theory. I'm able to analyze geopolitical questions in depth and profoundly and go deep to the grain of the matter and, of course, dissect civilizational interactions and regional power plays and, of course, historical antecedents and precedents of their historical relations between nation states and civilizations and regions and partnerships and alliances that are formed in past wars and conclude to might what happened in the future or today. So that's what geopolitical analysis is. I am an independent geopolitical analyst and theorist. Independent but great, super, and excellent geopolitical analyst and theorist. We several factors at play of the dimensions and the interplay of different nation states and their development, of which back in 2019, October, after seeing the trends, the US-China trade war was a major geopolitical event which began the deterioration of Sino-American, Sino-Canadian, Sino-North American, Sino-Western. Sino, when I use SINO, Sino, I'm referring to China as a geopolitical, civilizational. China as a civilizational, basically. I'm using Sino when I say Sino. So that deterioration of relations of Sino-Canadian, Sino in the US, Sino-American, Sino-North American, Sino-Western relations, Sino, basically China and the West, if you will, put it like that, China and the West relation, the deterioration of relations, other, of course, geopolitical factors such as the arrest of Meng Wanzhou, which interplay with this, the consequent arrest by China and detainment of the two Michael Spavor and Michael Covid, which were detained in China. These events and other events such as the ongoing terrorism and the insecurity in the Middle East and of course the ongoing Islamic State terrorism made me to conclude and come to the conclusion that humanity, we are again on a path towards an international conflagration. And so made, created, and produced my workout training program system, officially titled the General War Integrated Total Body Training System, aka the Dragan Army Workout, to go hand in hand with such an event, such a scenario, such as a World War III scenario, an international conflagration, aka World War III. And so made and created and produced that workout training program system, of which I've done right here in this underground room, Austin Temple, and outside in Montreal, Hawk Island, more than 350 sessions. And of course, which is a simple, effective, and efficient workout training program which requires no equipment, and which I'm advocating for the youth as early as 7 years old to try to implement it and try to work out and try to train and try to do the workout training program exercise, which is simple, effective, and efficient, and it increases general overall fitness. It is meant to do that purpose, and that purpose it does fulfill my workout training program system, which is simple, effective, and efficient, requires no equipment, easy to do from your office, from your room, from your temple, such as This is my room. This is my office. This is my temple situated in Hawk Island, HAWK, Montreal, aka Hawk Island, Quebec, La Belle Province, Canada, in North America, right here in North America. This island metropolis of 2.5 million people, big island of big population, and we have in the center of it a mountain system named Mount Royal with triple peaks, three peaks, Mount Royal proper, Outramount, Westmount, and that's the headquarters of the dancing goddess of the Dragon Kingdom and the Belvedere Kanyan Rack, of which this 93-day new journey ride is. March to the mountain, the march to the mountain, the march to the mountain for the establishment that I'm calling of a sort of a new world order, but a North American centric, a centric for North America, because my protocols, propositions, and philosophies and theories are first and foremost, mainly, but not solely and only for North America. But I am a North American Canadian Quebecer, and although many past lives, many incarnations, my theories and philosophies for the creation of the two complementary covenant and cooperative institutions of the North American defense only and solely citizen integrated security and service force, the Dragan Army, aka the Dragan Army, officially the North American Defense Security Service and Emergency Response Force, right? Officially, aka the Dragan Army, integrated to be integrated with all existing security forces of North America, public security forces and integration, and the implementation of other citizens. I'm advocating for the call for mobilization of 1%. 1% mobilization and creation within the institutions that exist, a public-private partnership, calling them astrological brother Bill Gates, Astro Scorpio brother Bill Gates, and all banks, all institutions from the corporations, big mega corporations and financial holding companies, Black Hawk, Mr. Fink of BlackRock and others, and Bank of Canada, Federal Reserve, and Bank of Mexico, and around North America, from the small business to the one farmer who has a farm. Thank you, bless you for those farming products, from the potatoes of Quebec, La Belle Province, to the family-owned farm, to the big corporations, all willingly loving for where we are now. I firmly believe it, with all the faults, and I got faults, I get moody, I don't play the self-righteous. Rarely you're gonna see me reading, and I know there's bureaucracy, and some bureaucracy and theory is necessary, but my brothers and sisters, also action is necessary for my own healing and transformation. Action has been required for my own healing and transformation. Action has been required for my own healing and transformation. I've been depressed and suicidal. I've conquered depression. I've conquered depression. I love seeing what brings uplifts me, seeing couples hold hands, kissing, and because otherwise, what are we fighting to save civilization for? I ask you all. If somebody's not making love today, not gonna kiss, not gonna hug, not gonna fuck, not gonna lick, not gonna come, not gonna make some good loving in rainbow ways or whatever, lick, whatever XYZ manners, rock and roll rap, and can spit a little bit of good rock and roll rapping for loving, that's for sure, don't mind that. 12th of April, if somebody's not making love and kissing or fucking across North America, what the fuck I'm gonna fight to save civilization for? I ask you, for multi-millionaire artists who get there, living in gated communities, rapping about whatever to rap about. If I rap, I rap for LOV and for farmers, bakers, butchers, bakers with it. You gotta be included. The farmers in my rap and rock and roll, the farmers, because everybody gotta eat, even gangster rappers. You got nothing, got ICBM rockets though, baby. What are we gonna do, North Americans? Can we put things aside and say, let's try this for 7 years, 7 years, 7 years, 7 years. Try this dragon thing, rainbow dragon, Adrian Hanna dragon, getting androgynous, pansexual, two in one, but XYZ factors, that's good for North America, right? Speak English, speak French, speak Spanish. We're good to go. We're good to go. We're good to go. Got so many things in common. Can we implement my theories? Can we create a two complement? I think we can. In a public-private partnership, because fundamentally, my dream manifesting as the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom is a public and a private partnership. That's what I'm calling on all to support this dream, the implementation of my Trinity of theories, right? Everybody deserves second, third chances, right? For art to have some redemption, we're gonna need some action. Kisses, I do the redemption and the justice first. All my allies and army, but kisses do my redemption, my justice first with kisses. I gotta do some action, cleaning my room, your room, cleaning, purifying, working out, training, and exercising. Some joy, some good hugging with consent. Hug like you never hugged before. Today is the main message, right? Otherwise, what are we fighting to save civilization for? If somebody's not gonna make good loving today, and somebody is, you know who? The youth, the adolescents of North America. Spring hits. The weather's gonna hit 13 degrees this afternoon, 3 o'clock. It's gonna strike the clock. They're gonna go out, finish their school, and somebody's gonna, between 3 and whatever time to get home, between 3 and 5, gonna be going in the park somewhere. They're gonna be kissing, man. Youth. And then they're gonna go home. Their homes. They're gonna have whatever, do their homework, and they're gonna eat. Maybe do half of their homework or not do their homework. But some are gonna make love. 13, 14, 15 years, 16, high school love, whatever, between 13 and 16, falling, kissing for the first time, hugging, first time loving, dating for the first time, Ain't that loving, man? That's worth fucking saving for. That's worth fucking fighting for. Fuck, I'm fighting for. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Millionaire, are you good? Why don't their children never go to fight for freedom? It's people come from hard, tough backgrounds, like yours truly. Spent many years, one foot in the streets, one foot in the libraries, people's doctor, workout, train, exercise. Shaving your head and putting on a uniform doesn't make one worthy to fight for freedom. I can tell you that much. And I learned this. I say, tough blood, sweat, and tears, my own suffering, and I admit today is 12:08 p.m. 12 April by myself to lift by myself Dragan Zero limb dick, a tiny little clit dick. It's a clitoris dick that I have. If you're curious, I got that out of the way. We can fight my own battle. So anybody in general, 4-star, 5-star, or whatever you are, if you want to fight me, I got the boxing gloves right here. We can tango naked. Well, you don't want to see my tiny little anyways, right? Well, it grows sometimes. Rock and roll. You got split atoms, fission, nuclear warheads, man. Yeah, boom, boom. You know, people are out of their minds. You know, people are disconnected. You know, hug like you never hugged before is the main message. Hug like you never hugged before is the main message. What are you gonna fight for? Why is it always all people who come from tough economic, financial, commercial? There you go. Got love for you. Got love for the armed forces of NORAD and NATO. Got love. Could give you hugs. No problems like anybody else. North Americans. Putting on a uniform and shaving your head doesn't make one worthy to fight for freedom. That I can say. That's one of the mottos of the Dragan Army. Yours truly, Dragan Zero, General Founding Captain of the Dragan Armies. What is the message? One of the messages to the NORAD, to NATO NORAD. Shaving your head, putting on a uniform doesn't make one worthy to fight in the cause of freedom. Very few are. Very few. Freedom. There's lots of different ways to freedom. Freedom XYZ. My rent's paid April. My electricity bill is paid. I could use a good massage therapy session. Oh, well, I cannot afford a massage therapy session. I wish I could. Blah, 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 blah. But I'm grateful, thankful I got a tub. I can put hot water. I can take a bath tonight or during the weekend, Sabbath. I can take a good bath and immerse for an hour. And that would substitute, and which I've been using in the past weeks, months, and years. I've been substituting my craving for a massage therapy session, and it's sublimating and channeling, because I do have aggression. I have aggression. I admit it. But my brothers and sisters, I sublimate and I channel. Two key words of my psychosexual philosophy is the need, important to sublimate and channel, whether to clean, to cook, to do art, to work out, to train, to exercise. To sublimate and channel in art, in channeling, rock and roll, pushups, the aggression, so that we harm none. I believe in high school there's more need for sexual education and workout, train, exercise, and more free time for free play, and more dancing, free play for high school, because the energies we're dealing with here today in the 21st century in 2023 are not the same as those from past generations. From new, more intense energies of urges to love and urges to do X, Y, Z, right? It need to be understood and sublimated and channeled. Because we got the cravings for love, we got the cravings for pleasure, myself included. As a universal spiritual teaching student, I don't play it self-righteous that I'm floating on clouds. I'm also of the carnal, of the flesh, with pulsations, temptations, you know. Yeah, sure nails, and we got lust. I wish I could do it. Sure. No need to do that. It's our nature is to be in concordance with the individual and the collective. And there's always that public-private relationship, because I am in my private domain, room, office, and temple. Being in my private room, office, and temple, my private domain, room, office, and temple, I'm private citizen. I fulfill my obligation to pay my rent for the month of April. I fulfill my obligation to pay my rent, to pay my electricity bill, pay my rent and my electricity bill for the month of April, and got food. Fulfill those obligations. Now that those obligations are fulfilled, there's other fulfillings that need to be loved, to work in cooperation, to do more art. These urges, this will, and urges and impulses which I have. To write poetry, to do rock and roll, to this, while also being grateful. It's trying to be a higher self. While admitting and knowing that I'm not always in the higher self, and sometimes I'm in the middle, and sometimes I got a foot in the lower self, and even when I feel whatever, it's also from the lower aspects of the self, the more jealousies and inclinations and XYZ which we deal with. But the emotions and the feelings matter, and they have to be integrated in our daily lives. As I say, one of my philosophies to express that is that yes, 2 plus 2 equals 4, but it doesn't mean that we gotta write 2 plus 2 equals 4 in only one color, black or white. But we can write it in black and white and all the colors of the rainbow, which yours truly, Dragan, does. In black and in white and in all the colors of the rainbow. Two, I write it. First two, I write it in black. The plus, I write it in red and green. The other two, I write it in white, or vice versa. If I write the first one in white, I write the second one in black, or vice versa. The first one in black, the second one in white. And the equal, I write it in orange and pink. And the four can do one line, two line, three different colors. So I can get all the 7 colors of the rainbow plus the black and the white, which I do include in that equation. 2 plus 2 equals 4, meaning that the feelings and the emotions, they got to be balanced with the rational and the emotion, because brains and muscle have been, are, and will require for us to maintain civilization and upgrade civilization at this moment. The upgrading meaning to do more for environmental nature. Here I'm blessed. I'm doing this clean renewable energy coffee machine is working on the clean, zero emission, zero pollution energy. It's emitting no, it's using no, it's not polluting. Thank you to the workers of Hydro-Quebec from 1944, between 1944 and 1989. More than 44 years, or more than 44 years, more than 44 years, so maybe 3 generations, worked to build 63 dams, not opening new ones, man. 63 dams across this Quebec label province, and we also give to 5, I think six states now, all the way to Manhattan even. New York from this Quebec label province, clean, zero pollution energy. Go Hydro-Quebec, go Hydro-Quebec, go Hydro-Quebec, go. Just lost power myself last week from this ice storm which was here. Almost 3 days, almost 3 days, I survived, and I said, go Hydro-Quebec, go. I did a lot of meditations out there on the ground. I wish I could give him some good hugs. Because civilization is a privilege. Civilization is a privilege. Civilization is a privilege, man. Yeah. Because the maintenance, action is required. Our brains and muscle is required. That's right. To save civilization, hopefully somebody's making good love today. It's gonna make some good love today. It's gonna brings me joy to see people kissing when I go in my marches. Kissing, hugging. I say yes. I start laughing. I give yeah, man. That's the way to go. I love seeing that. Oh, we'll be killing ourselves. And I've got aggression. I can. That's what channel. Fight my own battles. I can deal with generals, 3-star, 4-star, 5-star. We can tango my rock and roll. Long hair and your shave head and you can wear your uniform if you want. I'll wear my red. Can tango if I have offended. XYZ. Blah 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 blah. I'm a philosopher, I'm a theorist, geopolitical analyst and theorist who wills to love and see other people love and see us breaking these impasses of which we're facing as Quebecers, Canadians, North American. We make the great compromise here in North America, what I call the great North American compromise of the French language. I speak French, I love French. I write poetry, rock, philosophy in French. I'm a Quebecer. I was even a Quebecer in a past life. Born right here on this island twice. So we made this great compromise. It's always compromise. Public-private partnership. I can turn everything off now, get naked, start dancing naked on Celine Dion, Takashi 6ix9ine, and Beyonce's Run This World music. I can do that. I can even put it online, but with restrictions 18 plus, whatever, right? If I will. $1 million naked dance 1 hour. That's my price. A naked dance 1 hour. $1 million naked dance 1 hour. 800. I'll dance naked for an hour. For $1 million, gonna give half to my sister, 500,000. And gonna pay my $10,000 debt. I'm gonna finance my work, the dancing goddess and the Dragon Kingdom. Because fundamentally, what is money? It's for us to do buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. For us to do things, to experience things. I don't. Ain't no fucking way if I would have had millions in the bank account that I would have not supported food banks, gave to the youth for the holidays, these 3 holidays. I didn't hear much or in mass, the institutions, multi-millionaire athletes, right, in the NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB, and the owners, and didn't hear much, in I said I was kind of surprised. I was hoping, oh, you're gonna take an opportunity for change. We'll run back to business as usual. I get it. I get it. Money, 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 right? It's not all about the money, though. It's not all about the money, though. See what's going on? Some things in the world. It's not all about the money, right? Money, finance, economics, prosperity is important for me. I want to have something bigger, to have more open house for Monday to Friday open house. Dragan's house. I want that Westmount. It's been left decrepit for more than 7 years between 57 the Belvedere and 53 the Belvedere on the Mount Royal and Westmount. 57 the Belvedere, 53 the Belvedere. We can do it with love. We can make it into a big house of love. It's love and kisses, God. Oh, I've been struggling economically, financially, commercially, but I'm rich in kisses, got some brain and some muscle, so I'm not poor. I'm rich, super wealthy, super affluent. Kisses got by the trillions. Poetry, rock and roll, I write children's books, art, poetry. I'm a universal artist and universal of civilization and philosopher. Who doesn't play it self-righteous? I understand we gotta have some the rules, regulations, and bureaucracy. But now in North America, it seems we have, since not just in the past 10 years, 20 years, but since the 80s, 90s, this encouragement bureaucracy sometimes need to be with fresh ideas, right? And new institutions for the 21st century. I believe mine offer some solutions and some joy, because we need some joy, some to break the balance, the impasse, and use these new energies of liberation. Sexual liberation has not come easy for myself personally, for Canadians, Quebecers, North Americans, and LGBTQ worldwide rainbow liberation, not without blood, sweat, and tears. For me personally, and for all of us, these new energies need to be channeled and sublimated, not repressed, because repressing will make us sick and ill and diseased. I'll give you an example. Yesterday I was with my anonymous sister friend, sister, anonymous sister friend, anonymous sister friend. While watching a movie and somebody else in the theater. There was sometimes in the movie I had some thoughts, some more of a more sexual nature, and I got an erection. So I laid down, put it. I'm not gonna masturbate in the theater. It's not the place. It's not a theater for that. It's not a specific place to masturbate. There's rules of conduct. So I said I'm not gonna masturbate. So I just pushed just to 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 tame or to tame the erection. But I could have also repressed it because I had a little bit of a fantasy, of a nature, of a more adult nature of of being a little bit teased and sort of teased in a way, in a more BDSM switch way, or BDSM switch. If BDSM switch, you don't know what it is bondage, domination, submission, and BDSM. When you get somebody can get pleasure from being verbally abused, or femdom, what's called femdom, or servant and submission, or cuckold. So So rather than repress and get moody and angry because I had that lust, how can the dragon have a cuckold fantasy and lust? Well, I'll tell you something else. You got some gangster rappers out there who, I'm not gonna name names now, gangster rappers. I'm marching steel toe boots, baby. Okay, so gangster rappers. I know y'all got some fantasies on being put on a leash and marched as a dog, but that's okay. I'm not gonna judge you hard anyways, right? You hard, steel toe boots, blah blah blah. But our gangster rappers have fantasies of being put on a leash, being treated as a dog, and they woof woof woof. Now, if I'm lying, who's telling the truth? So we gotta use some art and humor and comedy as well. I'm 1/7 comedian. I love to do some comedy, some humor. If we're gonna heal as North Americans, because we are have unique characteristics and features and dimensions of our culture, society as North Americans. As North Americans, Quebecer, Canadian, North Americans of North Americans collective civilization, or the North American civilizational complex. We have to use some humor, some comedy, have some solutions, right? And humor, comedy, and to break the impasses of which we are facing at the moment. Is, like I said, from the east and from the west, ICBM rockets can hit North America from China, North Korea, and from Russia. Because from 1947 to 1989, 1989 minus 1947, that's 42 years. 1989, 1947, 42 years of building ICBM rockets, intercontinental ballistic missiles, which can be nuclearly armed. It's serious, man. It's serious. My analysis back in October 2019 was serious. But I have to be balanced. I'm gonna do it carpe diem and every day since I almost died of COVID. The beginning of February 2020 until about mid-February or so. I was very sick, ill, and diseased. Right? I am for the greater good. I want a rebirth, a rebirth, a rebirth. As I am being rebirthing myself as Adrian Hanna Dragan because I don't want to go back to nothing pre-COVID. I know some people, sometimes it's hard. You got the experiences and as a child and this addictives which don't, which block, which resist the change, and myself with pain, suffering that I've been through too, and still not perfect, not totally ever joyous or ever in bliss. I will for myself and for my allies and armies and for North Americans, because I'm non-sectarian, non-dogmatic. As a universal spiritual teaching student, well, Mother Nature, a kiss is holy, sacred, and divine. When somebody hugs, it'll be a new religion, new spiritual practice. In the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom, Adrian Hanna Dragon. Rave parties. So in the movie John Wick yesterday, I said, wow, I wanted to go to that. It was in Germany, Berlin. Techno music, and they had these layers and like kind of like a maybe an old factory or somewhere in a setting, and there was water. It's like fire and water together, water and fire with music, and they were dancing and layers of people. It was such a scene. I said, wow, I wish I could experience that. Because dancing is my favorite sport. I want to experience new things, new dimensions, and institutions which have been around for hundreds of years. I believe my public-private partnership proposal for a public-private partnership as part of my ongoing Dancing Goddess and Dragon Kingdom can bring some fresh ideas, some new energies, but it has to be taken with some action. That's why I'm calling on all willingly loving. And to play self-righteous, it's just not me. My Pope is the sun, my Pope is the sun, my Pope is the sun, who now rises and now sets. So a kiss, a hug, a tickle can be spiritual. Giving somebody a bath, eating, like drinking coffee. So these spiritual things of consecration of everyday life. I'm gonna clean for more spirituality, more physicality, for a rebirth, and I am calling on, and for the rebirth and regeneration and rejuvenation of the North American civilizational complex, aka the collective North American civilization of which Quebec, Canada, United States, Mexico, and paradoxically Cuba and the islands, Jamaica, Haiti, Dominican Republic, and Bahamas, they constitute part of North America and beyond. For world peace, I am a world peace advocate, but I am a North American Canadian Quebecer, and my philosophies are for this sphere of the institutions and the geographical realities, the reality of the only continent being bordered by two oceans. To the east is the Atlantic, to the west is the Pacific, ocean to ocean, coast to coast ad mare with masque ad mare, as the motto of Canada is in Latin goes, right? So as I am going these propositions, and I'm here discoursing about them, and have been in the past days, weeks, and months in an oral manner that can be easily transcribed and discussed. My transcriptions, and sometimes, of course, you have more hardcore rock and roll rap intersected in there because I speak from passion and passion God, and some brains and some muscle. And it has to be reflective of also who I am, but I'm not perfect, far from it. I've said before, I will say it again, that I wouldn't mind owning a strip club. It will have to be got a name for it, Rainbow Dragon Strip Joint. Rainbow Dragon Strip. Three names. Rainbow Dragon Strip. Where you going? Going to the Rainbow Dragon Strip. LGBTQ strippers, trans men, trans women, LGBTQ, where trans men and trans women also can dance if they will. Who wills, of course. It's like other strip joints where it's mostly, of course, women. There's some that are LGBTQ, but some are men, some are women. There are more women strip clubs though. But mine would be LGBTQ and trans inclusive. Myself would dance sometimes as a man and sometimes as a woman. For world peace, I said I would begin every dance, strip dance. Twerking is not going so well. I'm trying to learn it, but I'm getting there. Twerking is not so going so well for me, but I'm getting there one step at a time. It's an art. It's an energy. I love twerk dance. They're welcome to the dancing goddess and army, which I'm calling the creation dancing goddess army. Dancing goddess army. But anyways, if our strip club, I will commence say every dance. This dance is dedicated first and foremost for world peace and for the farmers, and all involved in the production, distribution of food, because everybody got to eat, even strippers. Please, strip joint owners and strippers offer farmers, butchers, bakers, cooks a discount for the Dragon. Farmers would get discounts. A free drink, free lap dance. Blah 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 blah. Push-ups, hawks. Mr. Butchers. Second cup of coffee. This morning it's 12:29 no p.m. I do an interjection. Thank you, farmers, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, grocery store clerks, cooks. Because everybody gotta eat, even Wall Street. It is 12:29 p.m. in the afternoon now. Please, if you make a million buying, selling, trading stocks on the stock markets, puts, or futures, Wall Street, please give 10% of a million if you make profit today, buying, selling, trading, futures, options, puts, all those stocks, finance. Give 10% of a million, 10% of the million, it equates to 100,000. 100,000 can be divided by 4. You can give 25,000 for food security, 25,000 for LGBTQ youth services, 25,000 for environmental issues, 25,000 for food security first, women's sports leagues, LGBTQ youth services, and environmental causes. 4 different causes, because 10% of a million is 100,000, can be divided by 4. 25,000 is the number. 100,000, which is 10% of a million, divided by 4 for 4 causes, is 25,000 for each cause. Please, buy, sell, trade stocks. Call it a heart. I know. Money, right? I know. Money, right. I know. Money, right? Yeah. Money. I got coffee. I got food. My rent's paid. My electricity bill is paid. I can work out, train, exercise, do push-ups, of which I shall do a good workout. As this independent artist, athlete, activist, triple A plus other dimensions to that Trinity adding other dimensions, geopolitical analyst and theorist, of which my theory has been proven conclusive in many, many, many ways, and I would send a few memos to powers that be, including the generals of NATO, Jens Stoltenberg. I send them some good, loving memos, anyways, and this memo that shaving your head and putting on a uniform doesn't make you worthy to fight in the cause of freedom. Freedom, 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 freedom. Myself with hands, tiny feet, tiny little androgynous scarlet dick, tiny trinity. Yeah, my little clit, dick clit sometimes goes magic rocket bigger, magic rocket bigger, magic rocket bigger. Sometimes, on occasion, rarely, but you know those rare occasions are good to go. Tango, ramble, blah 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 blah. Grateful, thankful for this coffee. I'll keep some for the third cup. Third cup. But and we got some honey. Grateful, thankful. This is local honey. Local honey. Thank you, farmers, farmers, farmers. We got it on special. The bees and the farmers, the producers. Because the bees take from the flowers, and this one is especially from clover. This is from clover. This is from clover. Honey from Quebec. So it's local honey, which I'm grateful to have it. So I got honey, so I'm triple blessed today. Rent's paid for the month of April on this April 12th today. Electricity bill is paid and got not only food, bread, also got honey. So, and I got kisses by the trillions. That's first and foremost. I'm laying the foundations of the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom with kisses. And we're gonna do this cup of coffee, and we're gonna start cleaning, because otherwise I'm gonna keep on procrastinating. And I want to do later a movie review, strictly only a movie review of John Wick Chapter 4. John Wick Chapter 4. Now I want to see the trilogy again. I've seen it the past years. The John Wick 1, John Wick the second movie, and the third movie. The trilogy. And now it's a quadrilogy, what it's called now when you have four, and maybe a fifth one coming. So John Wick Chapter 4 as his chapter. So the trilogy was pretty good, and the fourth one yesterday that I saw with my anonymous sister friend, whom if I make a man gonna give her half, was not bad actually at all. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Bravo, bravo. Keanu Reeves and all the prophets who made profits and millions from the actors. Some of them made millions of dollars, right? I don't know how much Keanu Reeves made. Please, Keanu Reeves, got some love for you, brother. Please give 10% of what you made for John Wick for the food security, food banks, 10% LGBTQ services, women's sports leagues, LGBTQ issues, and give 1% to the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom's mission for the implementation of my Trinity theories. Because if we implement the DRT, death refusion theory, of which I'm calling, we can have the UE, so it's gonna be a fresh start. That's what I'm calling for. I believe in this theory with all my heart. I've read thousands of books, written tens of thousands of pages of philosophy, art, poetry in the past years as I've struggled being depressed, suicidal, chronic illnesses. I've healed during COVID, even more rebirthing, nothing that I want to go back to. I want to advance in this 93-day new ride, marching to the mountain, and I want to love and be loved, and I want to keep on loving, and I want to see other people love, and of course I want to see, as the consumer inflation rose less than expected, a little bit of good news is that but inflation is still rising. Inflation is still rising. I got a little bit of news flash there on my right side, so I read it. A news flash said that inflation is still ongoing, but it slowed down last month. So March slowed down, but it's still ongoing. And of course, the May the minimum wage is going up in Quebec. I think by 75 cents. So the UE by the DRT, via the DRT, the death refusion theory, which I'm calling for the creation of the UE. So taking all private and public debt, My private debt as a private citizen is $10,000 to the Royal Bank of Canada. If I'm X1 and if X represents the private debt of private citizens such as myself across the North American civilizational complex, then X1 plus all the hundreds of thousands, millions, tens of millions of X's in debt, people in debt, skyrocket record levels debt for last years were hit. Imagine this debt servicing, because debt itself is not necessarily bad or evil or negative. It's the interest paid on this debt servicing, which is basically the interest that we gotta pay, that one pays as a citizen or whatever. The have institution corporations also have debts, as full of debts, public debt. So taking all the public and the private debt, right? The private of private citizens such as myself in this underground room office temple in there, which is about to be rearranged, purified, and cleaned. All private and public debt, because the United States dollar is still the international finance currency of choice today, the global trade currency of choice, and the world banking currency of choice. The United States dollar, the US greenback, the dollar, it still is. It has been challenged now with the new arrangements between the BRIC nations. There seems to be an ongoing, even further, to be the deterioration of the power of the dollar in international finance, global trade, and world commerce. Right, world commerce, global trade, and international finance. It still is the currency of choice now. The United States dollar is being converted, different currencies. Canadian dollar is import, export in Mexico, North American pesos. Let's do a quick check. How much is the exchange rate today? But first, before we do a quick check, I'm just going to discuss the DRT, the debt refusion theory. So the debt refusion theory is taking all private and public debt, converting it, the Canadian dollars to US dollars, the Mexican peso, the Cuba, because Cuba, paradoxically, the paradox of Cuba being included in North America, and my protocols, projects, and theories for making, of course, a bigger Cuba, and of course Haiti, and the Republican part of a North American tourism complex. We can do with a public-private partnership. My vision for a mega tourism complex to have North American tourism. If I want to go somewhere, there's so many things in North America, and the Grand Canyon. I want to go to the Grand Canyon. I want to go see the Grand Canyon, and of course Haiti and Dominican Republic. And we need to find some solutions. I think my theory is for the North American tourism complex to be centered, of course, around Cuba, Jamaica, Haiti, Dominican Republic complex, or be set up as a tourism complex. We can work something together based on my vision and theories and protocols of the public-private partnership and the dancing goddess and the Dragon Kingdom, and the armies, of course, to be a North American civilizational complex. A North American civilizational complex based on the ongoing protocols of which I have aforementioned. And based on the aforementioned factors, is of course the protocols for North American tourism complex based in on the islands, and including Jamaica, Haiti, Cuba, Dominican Republic, and the Bahamas to be tourism centric, the integrated protocols. But that's not the case for today. That's a whole discussion about those theories and that call for that part of the ongoing Dancing Goddess and Dragon Kingdom philosophy and theories, and call to all willing living to support the aforementioned. So now, as it's 12:39 p.m., calling for the implementation of the DRT debt refusion theory, taking all private and public debt, refusing it, whatever the number is in US dollars, since the United States dollar is still the international currency of choice. So taking all the private and the public debt, all the debt converted, well, the United States dollar debt, the US debt, public and private US debt will stay the same because it's in US dollars. But all Canadian public and private debt to be converted, whatever it is in Canadian dollars, it is in the trillions, it will be in the trillions in US dollars, the Mexican debt, and Jamaica, Cuba, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Bahamas, so all the North American debt first, even expanding in NATO member countries and Bank of International Settlements and beyond, Central South America, and Africa, brothers and sisters in Africa and the Middle East, and Israel, whoever else wills it to join the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom of North America for this North American civilizational complex. First and foremost, the DRT, debt refusing to taking all private and public debt, refusing it, whatever the number is going to be in trillions of US dollars. That'll be the initial money supply, standardizing all prices on all foods, cheeseburgers, hamburgers, milk, standardization of prices, set up the prices for food security and housing, food security, of course, and transport, standardization, and of course, creation of the UE. So the all the debt will be the initial money supply, creating the UE. The UE stands for the Universal Exchange Unit. That's why preferably I'm calling on my astrological brother Bill Gates. Scorpio, 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 Bill Gates, Bill Gates, Scorpio, Microsoft, Facebook, 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 Instagram, 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 and of course all involved in the big tech, of course, in private partnership, create what I call the UE. UE stands for the Universal Exchange Unit, preferably by biometrics, since the eye, the voice, and the hand are unique biometric identifiers, and of course to create the UE, Universal Exchange Unit. Like I said, preferably by biometrics, and since the eye and the voice are unique biometric identifiers for the creation of the UE. So taking all private and public debt, refusing it, converting it, the pesos into Canadian dollars, the of course Canadian dollars into United States dollars, the Mexican peso into United States dollar, and the other currencies into US dollars, and peg the UE, Universal Exchange Unit, to the United States dollar. So let's see how much is the exchange rate. Today is just the money flows across the buy sell trade. Let's see US dollar to Canadian dollar to US dollar today. So one Canadian dollar today is the equivalent of 74 US cents. 74 US cents. One Canadian dollar today is 74 US cents. It went up a bit because it was 72 last week. So it went up a bit. Vice versa. One US dollar is the equivalent of 1.34 cents. So one US dollar is 1.34. One US dollar is 1.34 Canadian dollars. So $1.34. Right, one US dollar. Now let's see US dollar peso. US dollar to peso to Mexican peso. One US dollar. Wow, it changed a lot since the last year that I checked. One US dollar, in terms of percentage, it changed a lot. One US dollar is the equivalent of 18.06 Mexican peso. Last time I checked, one US dollar was more than 20. So 20, that's more than 10% devaluation. So the US dollar could be stated that it had devaluated or lost power in concordance or in parallel to the Mexican peso, maybe to several factors such as import export, mainly import export matters, but it could be other factors. So today, one US dollar as of April today, recently, the most recent news on this, we have one US dollar is the equivalent of 18.06 Mexican pesos. So one US dollar today is the equivalent of 18.06 Mexican pesos today, and vice versa. One Mexican peso is the equivalent of 0.055 US dollars. So 5 cents, 5.5 cents, 5.5 cents US. So one Mexican peso is the equivalent of 5.5 cents. One Mexican peso is the equivalent of 5.5 cents. So let's see US dollar to euros now. Euro changed. Wow. Wow. I changed. It was 1 for 1 last year at one point. Now it changed a lot. So it fluctuates a lot nowadays with geopolitical crises that are ongoing. So one US dollar is the equivalent of 0.91 euro cents. One US dollar is the equivalent of 0.91 euro cents. One US dollar today is the equivalent of 0.91 euro cents. Vice versa. 1 euro is the equivalent of 1.10 US dollars. 1 euro today is the equivalent of 1.10 US dollars. 1 euro today is the equivalent of 1.10 US dollars. A euro today? Well, it was 1 for 1. So euro has appreciated now. Euro appreciated in the past months, in the past 3 months or so. Since November, I checked last time I was checking out, discussed the DRT, or mid-November, early November. It was 1 for 1 almost at parity. Now 1 euro is equivalent of $1.10 US. So about 10% appreciation, which in 3 months, 10% appreciation in import export value of how much import and export is going. That can be considered if you're an import into the import export business, of which some people now import trade. Ships are crossing now the Atlantic and the Pacific, but this is concerning the Atlantic because it's Euro US, North American US trade, of course, with the European Union, because there are 27 member states which adopted the euro, which is called in finance monetary integration. So in many ways, also my DRT, debt refusion theory, is part of monetary integration, albeit it's of course a new creation of a new currency based on the US. So that's the unique part. While the euro was based on several factors, but mostly on the Deutsche Mark, right? Mostly on the Deutsche Mark, mostly on the Deutsche Mark, but not only. But Germany was the economic pillar, the Deutsche Mark for the euro, and kind of variants from thereof. But not only, because 27 member states of the European Union have the 20 states of the 27 is the official currency of 20 states. So others use the euro of the 27 members of the European Union, but 20 of the 27 member states is the official currency of 20 different nation states. The euro is the official currency. So the UE will be for North America, for let's say what if seven, Mexico 7-11, Jamaica, Cuba, Haiti, Dominican Republic 4, Jamaica, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Haiti 4, United States, Canada, Mexico 7, and the islands. So the islands were 4 islands, Bahamas. So 11, North America 11 different states and the islands there. So it'll be 11 or more if Central America, Latin America join, and Africa, and whoever joins us North Americans in this for this the UE, the Universal Exchange Unit. Dollar to, let's say, Israeli shekels now. Israel. United States dollar today is the equivalent of 3.67 new Israeli shekels. It kind of stayed the same as it was last time. It hasn't fluctuated much. It's pretty stable, the exchange rate from November when I last checked. So one US dollar today is the equivalent of 3.67 new Israeli shekels. One US dollar is the equivalent today of 3.67 new Israeli shekels. I wonder if I can buy a cup of coffee with 3.67 new Israeli shekels in Tel Aviv or Bet Shemesh. House of the Sun, translated as House of the Sun, House of the Sun. House of the Sun for yours truly is right here in Montreal, Hawk Island, Montreal, Quebec, La Belle Province, Montreal, Hawk Island. If I want to build a temple for the forgotten goddess and my Pope, the Sun, and La Belle Province, North Americans for North Americans here on this island, metropolis, 2.5 million people on Mount Royal right there. One new Israeli shekels is the equivalent of 0.27 US dollars. One new Israeli shekel is the equivalent of 0.27 US dollars. One new Israeli shekel. One new Israeli shekel is the equivalent of 0.27 US dollars. So in other words, one NIS, standing for new Israeli shekel, is the equivalent of 27 cents US. In other words, not 0.27 is 27 cents US. Put it like that. Let's see Egyptian pound now. Egyptian pound, the US dollar to Egyptian pound. All kind of stayed the same to about what it was in November. So one US dollar is the equivalent of 30.85 Egyptian pounds. One US dollar is the equivalent of 30.85 Egyptian pounds. One US dollar is the equivalent of 30.85 Egyptian pounds. One United States dollar is the equivalent of 30.85 Egyptian pound. One Egyptian pound, vice versa, is the equivalent of 3.2 cents. 3.2 cents, 0.032. So one Egyptian pound is the equivalent of 3.2 United States cents. One US dollar is 30.85 Egyptian pound. Let's see now the British pound. The lira pound, the British. British pound. One US dollar today is the equivalent of 0.80 pounds sterling. Wow. Yeah, it doesn't change much from last time when I checked early November, mid-November. One United States dollar always changed a little bit. Is the equivalent of 0.80 pounds sterling. So not one. One United States dollar is the equivalent of 80 cents pound sterling, or 0.80. Vice versa, £1 sterling from Britain, from the United Kingdom, from the UK, United Kingdom, is the equivalent of $1.25 US cents. So £1 sterling is equivalent to 1.25. £1 sterling is the equivalent of $1.25 US cents. Now let's see Chinese yuan, also known as the renminbi. So one United States dollar, I think it hasn't changed much. I think it has not changed much, right? One United States dollar is the equivalent of 6.87 Chinese yuan. One US dollar is the equivalent of 6.87 Chinese yuan. One United States dollar is the equivalent of 6.87 Chinese yuan. One Chinese yuan, also known as the renminbi, renminbi, one Chinese renminbi, one Chinese yuan is 15 US cents. So one Chinese yuan is 15 cents US. One Chinese yuan is 15 cents US. Interesting. Now let's see India. India, last one. Indian rupee, one US dollar. One United States dollar is the equivalent of 81.98 Indian rupees. So almost, let's round it up by 2 rupee cents, 82 rupees today. One US dollar is the equivalent of 82 rupees today. Vice versa. So US dollar, one US dollar is the equivalent of 82 rupees. One Indian rupee is the equivalent of 1 cent US. About 1.2 actually. So 0.012, which is the equivalent of 1.1 cent point 2. So 1.2 cents, 1.2 cents, because it adds up with the hundreds, right? It comes to add up if you have hundreds and thousands. And of course, rupees come in 200 rupees, 500 rupees, 2000 rupees. It's not like us who have maximum 100 bills and 50 bills, but they have bills of 200 rupees and 500 and 2000 rupees. So there's that, a little bit of that. And one last one, we're going to check now Australia. Let's check Australia. Oh, Mexico we checked. Let's check in Brazil. Brazilian real. This is in Latin America. One United States dollar is the equivalent of 4.93 Brazilian reals. One US dollar is the equivalent of 4.93. So almost 5 Brazilian reals. One US dollar is almost 5 Brazilian reals. Now, if we go vice versa, one Brazilian real is 20 US cents. So one Brazilian real is called real. Real. It's spelled like real. One Brazilian, but it's pronounced real. Real. It's spelled real, like real, something real, tangible. One Brazilian real is the equivalent of 20 US cents. That's exactly what it is, exactly, today. And last one. Australia. Australian dollar. In Australia, they also use dollars. So one United States dollar is the equivalent of 1.49 Australian dollars. So almost 1.5 Australian dollars. One US dollar, the equivalent of almost, it's 1.49, so almost 1.5. So one US dollar is almost 1.49. Almost 1.5 Australian dollars. And vice versa. One Australian dollar is the equivalent of 67 cents US. One Australian dollar is the equivalent of 67 cents US. One Australian dollar, 67 cents US. One more in Africa. Let's go one more for Africa. South Africa. Rand. South African Rand. One United States dollar is the equivalent of 18.39 South African Rand. In South Africa, they have the Rand. What's called a Rand. So 18.39 rands for one US dollar. One US dollar is the equivalent of 18.29 South African Rand. And vice versa, one South African Rand is the equivalent of 5 cents point 4. 5 cents point 4. 5.4 cents. So one South African Rand is 1.45 cents. And in Africa, also Nigeria, let's see, because Nigeria is big. It's a big populated country. So in Nigeria, they have the Naira, what's called Naira, 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 the Naira. So 1 naira is divided into 100 kobo. So I'm learning something today. I knew naira, but I didn't the division in kobo. So 1 naira, just like us, is divided in cents. In Nigeria, they're divided into 100 kobo. So how they do it is still 100% for 1 unit, which is 1 naira. Just like, of course, the currency, of course, would be the UE, Universal Exchange Unit. It will be 1 UE, and it will be the percent of a UE, right? 1 UE would be 100 sons, or 100 sons. Call sons be 100% if you are the Universal Exchange Unit, right? So the UE would have sons, be sons. So be some one the currency that I'm advocating for via the implementation of my DRT theory for North America is, of course, will be the Universal Exchange Unit based on the US dollar's value today and tomorrow and the coming days, weeks, and months ahead. And it will be 100 divided into 100 sons. So $1 today is the equivalent of 436 Nigerian naira. $1 today is the equivalent of 463 Nigerian naira. So $1 today is the equivalent of 463 Nigerian naira. Vice versa, 1 Nigerian naira is the equivalent of 0. So not even a cent, 0.0022. 1 Nigerian naira is the equivalent of 0.0022. So 1 Nigerian naira is the equivalent of 0.0022. And last one now, promise. Last one, Vietnam. I'm gonna go for Vietnamese dong. Wow, this is something else entirely from what the pattern of we have seen in the terms of exchange rate in the currencies in what's called, of course, the forex, which is the biggest market in the world. Currencies trading now happening in the trillions today. So $1 today is the equivalent of 23,442 Vietnamese dong. The dong has been the currency of Vietnam since the 3rd of May 1978. 1978. So as will be the UE, Universal Exchange Unit by the North American Central Bank, or the Bank of North America, would be, if it's in 2023, let's say whatever, June, July, August, September, whenever we do it, October, November, October 31st, let's say, Halloween, Halloween day, open the UE, Universal Exchange Unit, in the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom every weekend, Sabbath, which begins Friday at midnight and ends Sunday night. It could be a Halloween every weekend, can be Halloween in the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom, and be dressing up every weekend. Why not? For recreation and pleasure, let's do it. Halloween, Christmas, all holidays in the Sabbath of the weekend, every weekend Sabbath, to be a celebration and a party for recreation and rejuvenation of the great North American civilizational complex and our allies. $1, 1 US dollar is the equivalent of 23,442 Vietnamese dong. Wow, $1, but that of course depends, because not necessarily the value of the money there. Maybe just gets a cup of coffee. With it, a cup of coffee maybe costs maybe 10,000 Vietnamese dong, right? So you have to keep that in mind, that it might be not reflect of the trade, the exchange rates. Although $1 equivalates 23,442 Vietnamese dong, and vice versa. Well, now it's gonna go. One Vietnamese dong is 0.000044, 0.000044 US dollars. So not even. It's like a percentage of 1 cent, right? So one Vietnamese dong is the equivalent of 0.000, so 0.000044. And with that one, we close this one. Wow, that was quite something, eh? So now as we go for the last cup of coffee, we're going to finish up by saying the gratitude, and we're going to start cleaning, because finally, dancing with cleaning, this is what we came for. This is what the purpose of is, but we're going to half it. as we go for a cup of coffee. And I'm gonna put some sugar again. So meditating on those currencies. Wow, that was quite something. So it ranges from 1 for 1 almost at parity to 1 for hundreds and tens, right? The Egyptian was 18. The Naira from Nigeria was for 400, and the Vietnamese one was 23,000. Wow, the Vietnamese dong is in the tens of thousands. The Naira in Nigeria for hundreds, and the Egyptian was in the tens, right? Wow, quite interesting of what the dimensions of the currency trading world is now as it is ongoing, whether the individual does forex, and there's apps thought, and there is applications now ongoing, and the currency is being traded, bought, sold now. And of course, to do import export, if you don't have the same currency, but with the standardization in the UE, that will propel us North Americans to mass prosperity, to mass prosperity, to mass prosperity. Right? And so 20 of the 27 members of the European Union have as official currency the euro. The others also use it, but those 7 others, because 27 minus 20, do the math, train the brain, do the math, train the brain, do the math, train the brain, is 7. So 7 other member countries, which most likely the last ones that joined the European Union, also kept their older currencies. But Germany doesn't have the Deutsche Mark anymore. France doesn't have the franc anymore. Lira, Italy, no. Hey? They only have the euros. There's no more Deutsche Marks. This is 1999 or 2000, 2000, something like that. 1999, 2000. There's no more Deutsche Marks. No more Deutsche Marks from. It's the euro, the euro, the euro. That's why I'm calling for the UE. Preferably even digital, right? Can be even banknotes, but mostly preferably even digital. So I'm calling on astrological brother Bill Gates and governments is to create the UE. I believe it's a solution to even save the world, save the world, save the world. The universal exchange unit. 1 UE is 100 suns, because it can be something cost 1.56, right? Let's say some bread or cost 1.56. 1 UE, 56, 1.5. We have 100%, 99 and 100. So 1.56, right? Let's say a bread standardized from whatever, Quebec, La Belle Province, Montreal bakery, to the US bakery would be the same cost. 1.56 to Mexico for that same goods, whether bacon, eggs, chicken. Will have the standardization and the creation of the UE. 1 UE is 100 suns. 1.56 UEs. Or it can be just, doesn't have to have the suns, but if it's not one, you can say it's 0.05 UEs or 0.77 UEs or 0.93 UEs or 93 suns, because 100 suns, it's like we have cents for the dollar, cents for the dollar, cents for the dollars, right? We can say that 1 UE is 100 suns. We call it suns, sols, soleil, sans soleil, sans soleil. But in French it's the same. Unité d'échange universelle. 1 UE, UE, 3 UE, 4 UE, 5 UE, 4 UE. Universal dot E dot U dot U dot E dot U dot Universal Exchange Unit, framed by biometrics, the hand, the voice, and the eye, taking all private and public debt, refusing it without number being the initial money supply, and then setting a limit. All loans, whether business loans, commercial loans, all loans thereafter, after we have the debt refusion theory and put all the debts converted into the initial money supply of the new Bank of North America, central bank, or international world, or Western whatever bank, or the alliance of North America and beyond, and create the UE, Universal Exchange Unit, and the 100 suns, and then have the currency to be the standardization of prices, and then offer services, consent and hygiene, mutual understanding and love, all services, kissing, massaging, washing feet, dancing, thanking the farmers, going, giving, hugging, massaging the farmers, truckers. Being for service and security for services, cleaning, 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 cooking, cooking, cooking. For service and security for service and security for security and service. So the UE, Universal Exchange Unit, with 100 sons, the Universal Exchange Unit. The Universal Exchange Unit for North America first. For by biometrics, that's why I'm asking my astrological brother Scorpio, Scorpio brother, Scorpio, brothers of the stars, Scorpio, Bill Gates, and all the others, tech, public and private partnership corporations. And now we're gonna get to the cleaning. So calling for the UE, Universal Exchange Unit, to be created via the DRT, and then setting a limit on all loans, to be the interest on all loans, whether whatever loans for whatever business affairs and XYZ, to be 10% maximum thereafter. After we implement the DRT, debt refusion, to take all private and public debt, convert it to create the new currency called the UE, Universal Exchange Unit. 10%. It can be 9.9, 8.53, 7.70, 6.1, 5.38, 4.18, 7.18, 1.56. Very low. That's, but 10% is principal maximum thereafter, to be able to increase the money supply thereafter and have the 21st century UE, to have North American rebirth, regeneration, and defense, 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 coast to coast, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, for the regeneration, rejuvenation, and recreation and establishment of the North American civilization, a collective complex. How can I be of service? And I require no service. Some reason. It's off now. smell. Vacuum a bit. What the is the word? Nice. Oh, it smells so good. bit sunny. A bit sunny, a bit sunny, a bit sunny. Wednesday. Do we still have remote Birth of the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom. The birth. The dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom. The birth of the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom. No, I thought you needed my help. Pleasant, eh? It was sunny earlier. Have fun, have fun, have fun. Look at this. This has a good expiry date. 2026. October. So it's good for 3.5 years from now. Best before 2026, Betty. 3.5 years left. So this corn, canned corn, is best. It doesn't say best before or expiry. It just says October 16, 2026. October 16, 2026. October 16, 2026. I'm assuming it's expiry date or best before. It could be either or. Best before or expiry date. It could be either or. Expiry date or best before. But it's 2026 October. So it's days 2023 April, May, June, July, August, September, October. 3 years and a half. 3.5 years. 3.5 years. 3.5 years. Which is 42 months. 42 months. 42 months. I'm assuming it expired then, so wow. A few cans of these for North America in case of World War III, in case of World War III, get World War III. North American Canadian Armed Forces, memo, memo, memo. Stack a few millions of these. They're good for 3.5 years. I will be Dragan's message for whoever general is there. By the way, your name is? That's nice, Betty.
And it fits. I hope, they're always too big or too small. This one fits perfectly. So hopefully,
wow.
But it's supposed to be down.
I have dirty hands now to touch it, but I can take the gloves off and touch it.
Yeah. Down means feathers.
There's a red line inside. That's cool.
Red line? Oh, the design.
Pretty cool, man. I like it. Oh, you have a pocket inside.
I wanted to remove the price weight a little bit because it smells. We don't want to take a chance to wash it because steel takes forever to dry.
Huh?
You see the price tag?
Yeah. Right here.
The
price tag.
tag.
No, I don't see it. Usually it's blue. White or blue. Nice, second hand, no way. This is awesome. Wow. It doesn't look second hand at all, bro. Wow, I thought it was new. Wow, good for you, man. You found a great deal.
Here's wait till the summer to wash it. Here's because I need it. It's still cold over there. Just check the snow right now.
Yeah. You're gonna need to clean these shelves. Shelves. Here's the way to proceed is take everything out. Auction. Sure, Betty. You're going now?